Ladies and gentlemen, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I wanted to make a longer video, but I just don't have time right now. I did want to get this one in though, because I didn't really think this warranted some long explanation or something that we haven't like talked about before. If you go back to my 2024 mock draft, I have the same opinion that I'm going to have right now of Rob Dillingham, but the difference is now we have a little bit of context as to what kind of player that he is and the potential player that he could be. Here's the thing. I was a little off. Who I think Jeremiah Fears is now is who I thought Rob Dillingham was. A similar player, very different abilities though. You can see physically that Jeremiah Fears has an advantage over Rob Dillingham. And as good as Rob Dillingham is, I think that there is a cap because of that physicality. I don't think that he has like cracked the code quite yet. Whereas somebody like Jeremiah Fears, I feel like his ability to manipulate a defense is so unique. It is that of like great guards. I'm not saying that he's going to be a great guard, although I do feel that way. I don't know that I have enough evidence to make that take. Maybe I'll do another video on just the Pelicans in general about him and Derek Queen. But anyways, Rob Dillingham is a super shifty. shout out to his name. A super shifty guard who has the ability to not only break you down in a one-on-one scenario, but he has the vision to make a pass across the court. Whether it's a skip pass or a lob or it's a dump off to a roller, maybe it's a bounce pass to the corner, who knows? He has the passing ability to be an elite level, to be a high-level point guard in the league. I think he can start. I would think Mike Conley's role, obviously he's on the Timberwolves, that's the role they want him to fill. I think Mike Conley is a better slasher. I think he can get to the rim a little bit better. But Rob's three-point making is a little different. I mean, I see him in like the low 40s one day consistently. I mean, he can really shoot the ball, yo, and especially with how fast he is. And if you have Ant, who's also a very talented playmaker at this point, still need a dedicated playmaker for this team. It could be Rob, but I don't know. We'll see. But especially with Ant being able to play make for Rob, there's opportunity there that Rob wouldn't get if he wasn't on this team. I don't want to get too into the weeds comparing him to other point guards in the league, but I really don't see him being able to compete at a high level in the playoffs if he continues his play. And look, he had a 23-7-7 game tonight. I think the key to the future for Rob Dillingham, which is something everybody's been saying the whole time, but I just had a hard time committing to the bid on, is he has to just make sure he's not absent on defense. I've seen games where he gets steals, but they're like pick-me steals or like give it to the guard kind of steals. I was talking to the commissioner of a couple of the fantasy leagues that I'm in for basketball, and he made a comment to me, and I think it rings more true than I want it to, which is there's a lot of Bones Highland in Rob Dillingham. I think Rob Dillingham's situation's a lot better. I think his abilities, I think he's a better basketball player than Bones Highland, but I understand what he means. I understand exactly what he means. How I interpret comparing him to Bones Highland is that he's a prolific scorer. He can get the ball in the bucket. But on defense, it's always going to be an issue. And even offensively, like it's super easy to scheme for a guy like him. You can't do that against Jason Tatum. You can't do that against Paulo. You can't do that. Who else? There isn't a team in the league where you just don't put a guy on him and it just stops his ability to do what he does. I've seen him do well, but I think he's a second unit guy. I think he could be a superstar off the bench. I mean, imagine, well, maybe not on that team because Nas's defense isn't the best. I don't know. It sucks. I'm rambling now. I'm kind of like grasping for things. I really like Rob Dillingham. He's one of my favorite players. I watched him in OTE. Even before that, just like clips on YouTube and shit. But it's cool. I don't know. It's cool to see him in the league. It's cool to see him having success. And I do think he's going to play winning basketball. I just think it's going to take him a little bit. Regardless, I'm a fan, though. I enjoy watching him play basketball. You know what I mean? It's just like when you watch a guy like him, and then you watch a guy like Jeremiah Fears who runs the game differently. He moves just a little bit differently. And I just don't see that, which kind of sucks. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Like Rob a lot. Anybody who's a Timberwolves fan, sorry. I hope I didn't offend anybody. If you made it through this whole video, me just rambling about a player that I like, I mean, go ahead and like the video. You might as well. You're already here. Subscribe, that'd be cool. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. How many years do you give a point guard before you have to give up on them? It's just his rookie year, so I'm not suggesting that we give up on Rob Dillingham quite yet. But what I am saying is that there is a point where it's like, 4 or 5 years in, if you're not making it happen, you're not making it happen. Is it year 3? I don't know. I don't know. For every single player, like, I can tell different spots. To be honest with you, my gut feeling with Rob Dillingham is I think that I know who he's going to be, and he should be off the bench, and he'll start until they find a better guard, or until they find a guy to fill his role, and then he'll be moved to the bench. I think he's going to be awesome there, though. I don't think he's going to be a bad player. I think he's going to be solid. I just don't think you can start that guy, unfortunately. But again, I could be totally wrong. I'm looking at a guy like, we'll just continue with the theme. I'm looking at a guy like Jeremiah Fears, and I can see, even when he sucks, even when it's a bad game, it's like, oh, that kid's elite, though. That guy's going to be a guy. That dude right there is going to play winning basketball, especially next to freaks like Zion Williamson and Trey Murphy. And you got dudes like Jordan Poole to back you up on the offensive end. You got dudes like Misi to back you up. And at the center, of course, you got Derek Queen, who can do everything, it seems like, but not really. He's a little slow, but that's all right because he's like Sengun. It's almost there. I don't know. Got tons of different guards. Yeah, look, I was going to compare it to Suggs, but that would be ridiculous. That's not even the same thing. It's not even the same thing. That's like comparing Rob Dillingham to Walker Kessler.